Hi guys, this is a story about a healer and how it started off with him and where it's gone from there and what have you. And yeah, please let me know what you think. You might find this very interesting, and it might be a bit of a twist which comes right at the end, so please watch the end if you are curious to what this might be. So the story began in his 20s. He was with a group of met friends who sort of were into Tai Chi and stuff. Not that he'd ever done it at that time, but they were showing him different like tricks and stuff through it, use of the mind and stuff like that, and it sort of fascinated him. And he said one day he was sitting down with his dog, and his dog was quite old, and he had some ailments which he's not going to go into because it's probably too unbelievable for most people here to, you know, to deal with. But anyway, he just focused on him, put his hands on him and tried to heal him, and he did. And it was like, really freaked him out. He's only in his late 20s. But afterwards, the next few days, some of the ailments that he'd helped his dog with actually came onto him. With hindsight, he says, he knew nothing about grounding, about protecting himself, nothing. He just did this without, he didn't even think it was going to work. And it really like freaked him out. He didn't like know what to think of it all, and he never did it again for over 20 years. Then one day his partner came home and she was severely run down. She had a temperature of 39 degrees. That's in the UK, you know, that's centigrade I think it is. And she had a sore throat, she couldn't eat nothing. Something compelled him, something switched happened in his mind, I don't know. He basically like hugged her and focused on trying to help her, and within 10 minutes her temperature dropped down to 37 and her throat was well enough for her to eat. And it really started from there. He helped his son a few months after. He was ill again, same high temperature. Put his hands on him, on his head, I think. I can remember now what he said it was. And he said within 10 minutes, his son had to run to the toilet to be sick. And his temperature was totally gone, and he was totally fine. And since then, it's developed, he said, to a small circle of people that he helps. He's pretty much anonymous. He doesn't tell many people about it. Hardly any of his friends know that he can heal. But he has developed an ability to remote heal, and he's healed all over the world. Canada, Australia, America. In fact, he says sometimes it works better for him remote healing than normal healing. He helped a woman once who had grabbed a red hot frying pan, which was literally just been used, and she didn't realise, and grabbed it, and her skin was bubbling up on her hand and wrist. And by some coincidence, he just happened to talk to her just at the time that this happened. And he said, right, stay calm, I'm going to help now. He focused on her. Within seconds, the pain in her arm and her hand went. It started tingling, in fact. And it was like a warm feeling over it. She went to the ER over there in America, and as a precaution, and showed the doctor the wound and what have you, the burn. And he said to her, he said, are you sure this happened today? And she said, yeah, about an hour ago. He said, this wound here looks like it's had at least a day's healing on it. But she came back and told me. And today she's got no scar in there at all. It's totally healed. But he did say that did take a lot out of him. He says that when he does healing like that, big heals as he calls it, it takes a lot out of him. Almost like he's reaching into his soul and taking every ounce of energy out of him. Because sometimes he's even vulnerable as well. He can become ill himself from not being protected enough. He's learned to sort of protect himself as time has gone on. He has got more better at it, but he's still not brilliant at it, he says. Also, there's been other occasions he's helped people with COVID, but he did say the first time he helped someone, he said for the first few hours afterwards it was like someone put me in a tumble dryer. He said it was a horrible experience, but then he was fine, and the person the next day was totally fine. And since then, he's helped about 5 or 6 people with COVID. Some of them been on respirators, and he's turned them around and been on hospital within 2 days. He actually ended up having COVID himself at one point, and it has affected his healing abilities a bit since. It's been a bit hit and miss, but he said he is getting there. And he learned even from that, because, as he said, was when you heal people and you can do things that a normal person doesn't do, then, even though he says anyone can heal, you're born with the ability to. All the psychic abilities you see out, the telekinesis, everyone has them. When they're born, they're all there, but we lose them as a child. They're there, and we lose them as we become older and stuff. And he said, but one thing he said, when you're healing people, and you're healing people a lot, it can affect you. You can become a bit arrogant. You can tend to believe that you're invulnerable. It sort of raises your ego to a big high level. And he said when he had COVID, it knocked him down a lot of pegs. And with hindsight, he realised that he needed it. As he knows the power comes from within him, from the other side, from God, whatever you want to believe. He knows that. But it still is coming through that person, so it's sort of like affects him in a sense. And anyway, there's been many more healing things. If you wish to hear more, maybe I will be able to get them to you at a later date. And it goes from there. I did think this entailed being a strange story, but there's one last thing. The strangest part of the story altogether is this person is me.